Hello and welcome back in, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is Scootsy16 for the Windy City Thunderbolts Super Mega Legends League simulated franchise. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is episode 5, if I'm not mistaken, and excited to get back into things. As we get started here, I just wanted to take a quick moment to shout out a fellow YouTuber, Vaughn Prakniak. I hope I pronounced that properly on YouTube, also known as Prack Nasty or the Nasty One. I wanted to give him a shout out because his recent video, he shouted me out, and he does Super Mega Baseball as well. He plays his games. He runs multiple franchises that he goes back and forth between. Really great content. If you are into Super Mega Baseball, I will tag his YouTube channel in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the description below. But thank you all so much for joining. And if you missed any of the previous episodes, I also have the playlist for this series in the description as well. So go ahead and check that out and let us know if you have any thoughts or feedback. But as we get started today, our team is not doing very well. We'll quick check out the standings. We're struggling to start the season with a 14 and 23 record and a negative 69 run differential, which is not nice. And we need to figure out how to turn things around. I have recognized a few players in the waiver wire, the free agent pool that I'm interested in, and I'm going to be continuing to monitor that as we continue to move through the series. The next one that should be coming up soon is Cash Basket, who is valued at 5.8 million and still asking for 0.7 million over their value. So we'll keep an eye on that. Really excited about that power versus lefty and contact versus lefty trait to kick the or to take advantage of those being maxed out. And eventually we're gonna get to tier two for competitive and also bring up the disciplined up to tier three as well. So we'll get there, and hopefully the team starts to turn it around as we go. Also, we did not have any good developmental options here. Hank Hart could get rally starter, which is nice, and increase to the arm, but he's just too old to put any money into. So with everything that you'll see here, we decided to pass on Don Guevara. She doesn't really seem to be part of the core here, and we definitely don't want to give any of these negative traits or a chance to lose any good traits for these other players. So we're just going to continue to build up that PDO funds and see what we can do. But where we left off was our first game against I guess this isn't our first game. We did play two others against the Hammond Hot Corners. We got destroyed 13-0 and then won 4-3. But I wanted to sim to this third game because we have not gotten a chance to see Cecil Sawyer pitch yet for us. So this will be our first game watching the Hammond Hot Corners versus the Windy City Thunderbolts. And while we do that, we're hopefully going to be able to offset some of those on fire players for the Hot Corners. So let's go ahead and watch this game. Go into check the lineup here. I'm going to first go with the suggested option. Do like Chavez being there at the number 1 spot, and as we talked about, I like having Spitz McKinney here for Chavez to get on steal, McKinney to already have RBI Hero maxed out. Last time, if you missed it, Spitz McKinney had a grand slam, which was really awesome with RBI Hero maxed out, which was super cool to see. Beefcake McStevens has been one of our hotter hitters. He's currently 10th, so hopefully he can get that figured out. And David Ortiz may have gotten out of his tense mojo, so let's hope that he's starting to turn things around. Justin Murneau at first. I'm not sure why they keep throwing digit swing-ins in here, unless we have a righty pitcher. So I am going to go ahead and switch this over to Hank Hart, Arsenio Cardenas, Aria Combs. She's been playing well, so I'm going to bump her up in the order. And then Willie Randolph. I like that as a nice little wraparound at the bottom of the order there. So Cecil Sawyer comes up for us. We'll see how he does in his first start that we get to watch. And I'm going to let's go with the alternate for this one. Checking out their order, really tale of two sides here with 3 players on fire right now, which will be a bit of a rough part of the order to try and get through. But then you have 2 players that are completely rattled, including Buttons Bunterson, which is good for us. And uh, we also have Howie Caldeed, who is tense. So this will be a really interesting game for us. Let's go ahead and get things started. And we are playing at home, so another game that we're watching at Whacker's Wheel. Hopefully you're not getting sick of that stadium or that location, but that's what happens when that's the home park, right? All right, so the hot corners really leaned into their offense with power, contact, and speed being where they're going to have most of their talent. Their pitching is not as great, but we'll see what happens as we go through this game. Starting with Archie Bale, who takes 2 quick balls and is batting .312, so having a good start to the season. He induces a ground out to the pitcher for out number 1, and here comes Aya all day. And she has first pitch Slayer all the way maxed out. So smart on Sawyer to throw ball 1 there. Okay, ball 2, sure. Gets her to swing through ball 3, or strike 1 there. And a foul. And we are currently at 2-2. Be really nice to get her out here and maybe knock that mojo down. But instead, she takes ball 4. And she's fast, so we have to be careful here. Luckily, we did bring in Hank Hart, who has a stronger arm of the 2 catchers, but I don't think he's got enough to catch her. Here comes Lincoln was that Bulger? And he's down 1-2, on fire as well, batting .383 with 17 homers. And Cecil's having a tough time with his accuracy to start this game, throwing a lot of pitches, which we don't love to see, but he does get him to chase high on that one for strikeout, and that's the second out of the game. And here comes on fire Squinch Toot Whistle. And yeah, Cecil's laboring already, up to 17 pitches in the first inning here. Gets strike 2 there, 1-2 count. And he can get out of this unscathed. He does go ahead and take a look over at all day over there at first. And goes for it again, and he can't go again unless he wants her to go. And that ball squeezes through the middle, and Squinch Toot Whistle gets a base hit there. Luckily, it was just a single, and we have first and second. But good news is this does activate Cecil Sawyer's rally stopper, which is maxed out. He gets Natalie Wise to swing through that one and throws another quick strike. So now quickly down 0-2. Makes just enough contact to stay alive, and that ball will get down. And the runners are going to advance. Combs with a great throw to third, but it's not in time. Toot Whistle has some good speed. And we're at first and third on the hit from Natalie Wise. And they do score their first run of the game. As we've done in the past, if this game does get out of hand, which I'm not trying to jump the gun here, but if this game does get out of hand, I will go ahead and stop the simulation. But luckily, Buttons Bunterson, who is already rattled, swings through strike 3. And it wasn't as bad as it started to look there, but Sawyer did go through a lot of pitches in that first inning. So we'll see how long he can last in this game. Here comes Prince Chavez, who puts one in the same spot that Toot Whistle did earlier. He gets himself a base hit, and he's locked in, so that speed is really up there. If we can take advantage of that stealer trait here, it could be a really nice opportunity for Spitz, who's already on fire. Arm behind the plate is pretty solid. Grayson Timms does have rally stopper as well, but it's only tier 2. All right, Chavez steals. At least they get out of the double play there as McKinney grounds out to first base, advancing the runner to second. And here comes Beefcake McStevens. Takes outside ball one. He is tense. And he fouls that one off. 1-1 count. Checking the runner back at second there. And that ball was high, which is right in McStevens' danger zone, as was that one. Chavez has to back up as All Day is there to make the catch. She'll camp under that one all day. All right, here comes David Ortiz, who has turned it around slightly. He's only batting 176, but does have 5 home runs and 14 RBIs, so he has been able to figure out some of this. So let's see if we can get him going. Swings at that one, and that's foul. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Wow, what a curveball from Sims. Outside ball 2, 2-2 count. And fights that one off, staying alive, 2-2 still. Checking the runner again. And here we go. 3-2. Chavez does not have to go here. And Ortiz does get a hold of that one, but it lines right out to Archie Bale in left field. And while we get a leadoff hit, it doesn't go anywhere as we go down with the 2-3-4 hitters. And heading back on defense here, this is where I get the most anxious because we got a lot of work to do on defense. The talent, I feel, is on the offense, which even that's been inconsistent. And a ground ball right between Sawyer's legs for a base hit. And the hits continue for the hot corners. Caldeet comes up, has off-speed hitter, and this is a Tier 2 trade as well. So far, we've seen that their competitive traits are maxed out. The only competitive trait we've seen come up is first pitch Slayer for Arya all day. And Caldeet swings through strike 3. And that's out number 1. So Sawyer, who is at 34 pitches already here in the second inning, could get out of it pretty quick if he can induce a double play here. Takes a pitch inside for ball 1. That one slides in there for strike 2. And right there at the top of the zone, taken for strike 3. All right, so we get to the top of the order here. Archie Bale coming up. Great contact, not much power. 2 outs. Sawyer's maybe starting to find a groove here. Swings through strike 2 in the dirt, excuse me. And Bale gets a hold of that one, but as we mentioned, the power's not there, so McKinney camps under it for out number 3. And we head to the bottom of the second with our 5, 6, 7 hitters, Justin Morneau, Combs, and Hank Hart. So Morneau, who's batting 196 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs, just another player on the list of underperformers, unfortunately, to start this season. And honestly, you know, depending on how the beginning of the first half of this season goes, this might just be us looking to try and build up on and develop some players. We'll have to make some tough decisions potentially on some of those higher income earners on the team if we don't see a future with them. And Morneau takes strike 3 for out number 1, and his struggles continue. Here comes one of our more consistent hitters so far this season has been Arya Combs. You see the 248 average. She swings through strike 2, but she does have 6 home runs, 12 RBIs, and it seems she does much better when she's got an audience. So when we watch games with her, and as I say that, she grounds out to first. Seems like when we watch her, she plays much better than when we simulate the games and skip past watching them. Here comes Hank Hart, 2 outs. He's been having a tough season, and I wouldn't really expect much else from him. This was not an acquisition that I was excited about when we got him. He's got a decent fielding and solid arm, while his contact is good, he's getting up there in age, and he's not really the producer that he used to be back in his heyday. Here we come back to Arya all day. First pitch Slayer activated and takes strike one, and it doesn't really look much different when she doesn't have first pitch Slayer activated. And she swings through that, or she makes just enough contact on that one. 1-2 count with that ball outside. And she gets a hold of that one, but not nearly enough. And Chavez gets that one, reels it in for out number one. Here comes Lincoln Bulger, who was on fire and struck out in the first inning. And he squeezes that one down the first base line. Combs gets to it quickly, and when he got knocked down to locked in, he was still able to make solid contact there. Whistle comes up, still on fire. Grounded base hit through the middle last at bat. Swings through strike two there. Cecil Sawyer already up to 50 pitches, and Toot Whistle blasts one into the left center field gap. Chavez gets to that one quickly, but the runners advance to second and third, and that's a double for Toot Whistle. She's still having a great day, still completely on fire, as she's 2 for 2, and that does activate Sawyer's rally stopper trait, which is good, but again, he is already up there in pitches. She swings through strike two. Natalie Wise gets that one to squeeze right past Beefcake McStevens, and that's a base hit. Another runner scores, and Toot Whistle advances to third. So on the base hit, we now have first and third with one out, and Rally Stopper is still activated. Now, Buttons Bunterson is rattled. He may consider, it doesn't look like he's showing right now. I was going to say he may consider bunting. He swings at that one, and it's going foul, and McKinney can't get to it. It goes out of play. 2 strikes, 2-2 count. And he swings at that one. Cardenas over to Randolph. Randolph over to Morneau for the double play, just getting Bunterson in time. And it's pretty much only because he's rattled. If he was even tense, he probably beats that one out. Our double play duo is still a little rocky. Definitely looked better than Camden Gilmore there at second base, but Randolph, as he steps in, Cardenas does get the base hit right over the second baseman. And here comes the other half of that double play duo, Randolph, who's batting 176 since we've acquired him. So we had a good first day for the team, which we all got to watch last episode, but it's been struggling since. He takes 3 quick balls and gets a hold of that one, swinging on the 3-0, but it goes foul just ahead of it. Fights that one off, now a full count, and takes ball 4 just at the bottom of the zone. Sims is unhappy with the call there, but well, we're not going to argue. The Thunderbolts are going to take everything they can get, and the first 2 batters reach. That does activate Rally Stopper, which is only slightly better than his normal attributes. And both runners steal, and Chavez gets that one just inside the foul line down the right field line. He's only able to get one base there, but he does drive in a run, and a huge play for the Thunderbolts as they do a hit and run, and Chavez is able to execute, and that's why the runner scored. And McKinney comes up on fire and RBI hero maxed out. Chavez is stealing, and the ball not in time. It was a close play, but Chavez does get that, get himself into scoring position. And the offense starting to turn it on. Still no outs. Takes ball 3, full count here. And McKinney fights that one off, too close to take. Swings at that one, gets it through the right side of the infield, and they're able to get it in quickly, and one runner scores. McKinney able to come through in the clutch situation, gets a base hit and a runner scored, but now we're at first and third, no outs. Beefcake McStevens comes up. And this game is tied 2-2 in the bottom of the third. And this is what we were talking about. The offense has the talent when they can find themselves putting it together, but it has been a rocky start to the year, and we hope that they can turn things around. McStevens swinging at a few pitches here, 2-2 count, and he makes just barely any contact there, and it's too shallow. Bell does not have a great arm, but it was way too shallow for Chavez to advance on that one, and McKinney also stayed at first. So now 1 out, and here comes David Ortiz. Takes strike 1 outside and low. Takes ball 1, swings through strike 2 inside, and with a 1-2 count, takes ball 2, and almost in the exact same spot as the last one. Takes ball 3. All right, we have a full count, 1 out, and Ortiz really unloads on that one, but Bale is able to get to it. The good news, however, it was deep enough for Chavez to score from third. So while he does not get a hit there, really great contact, and he does put the Thunderbolts up 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. But now we're at 2 outs, and Morneau is up with McKinney at first base. Rally stopper no longer activated. Sims gets enough on that one to knock it down for their second baseman to get it over to first and get Morneau moving pretty slow. They're getting to first for out number 3. But big inning for the Thunderbolts as they are able to get some runs and take the lead. And Sawyer has to feel confident about that while he's already up there at 62, now 63 pitches. He is going to have to try and fight through this one for the team. Works the count full. And Sawyer throws another one there, goes foul. And that one goes through the left side of the infield for a base hit. And Howie Caldite comes up, did strike out in his first at-bat with a runner on. We do see that there's not much speed over there at first base. Caldite having a pretty solid year, but down 0-2 here in 10ths. Takes ball 1 just inside off the plate. And that one looked inside as well, but Caldite fights it off. Takes ball 2 outside. Ball 3 outside as well. Sawyer's trying to get him to chase, and he's not doing it. Sawyer right back to him. Randolph over to first. That's a double play. Sawyer coming up clutch for himself. Makes the play right there at the top of the mound, which fancy footwork to make sure you don't trip over the rubber there. And is able to get it over to Randolph, who relays it over to Morneau for out number 2. So good recovery there. Beefcake, ground ball over to first. Morneau catches it, and that's a pretty clean inning for Sawyer. He does give up the base hit in the first at-bat, but really nice to see that after a slow start. He only threw a few pitches in that inning, so might not have much left in the tank, but we'll take everything we can get out of him until we have to head over to the bullpen. Combs here, 1-2. Grounded to the first baseman in the first at-bat. Swings at an inside pitch, but goes foul and fights another one off. 2-2 count here. Takes that elite curveball that drops right into the zone for strike 3. And I was just about to say, I think Sims is starting to reach the end of his day as well. 66 pitches here in the bottom of the 4th. And he doesn't have as much of the skill as Sawyer, pretty much around the same type of talent level. This is a pretty decent matchup between these two pitchers as they're very similar. And Hank Hart, way ahead of that one, swings through it for strike 2. Here comes Cardenas, who did get a base hit in his first at-bat. And he lines that one right down the line. And Bale is able to get to it quick enough to keep Cardenas at first. And that's a base hit with 2 outs. So the bottom of the order, maybe waking up a little bit here. Willie Randolph would love to see that tense mojo get reset here with a base hit of his own. And Sims doing everything he can here to try and get out of the inning, and he gets a fly out from Randolph over to Bale in left field for out number 3. So we do head to the top of the 5th, and Cecil Sawyer is going to have to go through the 1, 2, 3 in the order here. There's all of them reaching their 3rd at bat, and this might be really, really tread lightly time, where if we see Sawyer get into any trouble, we might want to give him the hook here. Was recently doing some observations in some other games that I was watching, and seemed like the pitcher get pulled way too early. In this instance, I'm more than okay with that, as we are going through the bulk of their order right now. So Sawyer gets the ground out, but against All Day, we're not taking any chances, and Kerr comes in, who's been one of our most used pitchers, but has not had that great of a season despite the skill, with a 5 ERA, but gets All Day to fly out to right for out number 2. And here comes locked in Lincoln Bulger, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a base hit. Kerr gets that ERA below 5 with that line out. And Bulger grounds to Morneau. Morneau tosses over to Kerr, which I don't love, but Morneau was really moving slow there. I think he's moving slower than his actual speed, but who knows? All right, so we get 1, 2, 3 through their 3 best hitters, and we move into the bottom of the 5th, and Sims stays out there for this one. Chavez leads things off, and he gets a light fly out to Linda Hand in right field for out number 1. So here comes Spitz, still on fire. Got a base hit in the last at-bat as well, which was, oh, that ball's getting inside, and I don't know if that was a warning shot or Sims is losing his accuracy, as he threw one way outside as well, and it's 2-2. And McKinney gets a good pop on that bat, but Linda Hand is over there to make the play. And that's out number 2 quickly, giving Sims some life here at 81 pitches and not much left in the tank for him. Here comes Beefcake McStevens, and he gets a hold of that one and gets it out to left center, but All Day is there to cut it off and hold McStevens to a single. So here comes David Ortiz, 0 for 1. His last at-bat was a sacrifice fly to left field. And we saw some of that pop in his bat on that hit, but it was a line drive. So let's see if he's got anything else in the tank for this at-bat as well. He's down 1-2. Sims still struggling, but making progress here through this inning. All right, David Ortiz grounds that one just past the diving second baseman, and we have 2 runners on again, so that will activate Rally Stopper, but with how much Grayson Sims is built out here. Yeah, here comes Libido, who does have a tier 2 wild thing, so if we see a ball get away, that'd be nice to see, but 2 slow runners on the bases. David Ortiz gets maxed out clutch activated here as the pressure is getting higher. Morneau is tense, so we see his mojo knocking his traits down a little, or his attributes down a little bit too. Fighting off a few pitches here, 2-2 count with 2 outs. And Morneau, as we've seen him do in the past, really battling through this at-bat. 7 pitches already. Oh, he thought that one was too high. The ump disagreed, and Libby Doe gets the strikeout to save Grayson Sims, and we head to the top of the 6th, and here comes Squinch Toot Whistle, who's been having a good day herself, still on fire, and she takes that first pitch right back up the middle for a base hit. And Kendra Kerr, as she's coming in, has has the 4, 5, and 6 hitters to go through, and we'll hope that she can make something happen. Toot Whistle takes off, and Hart with a great throw down to second base to get her, and that is out number 1. So the base hit gets negated pretty quickly, and 2 pitches later, the strikeout, Kendra Kerr, in a groove right now, and now has to face off against the rattled Buttons Bunterson 0 for 2. But no, they decide to bring in Carlos Delgado for this at-bat, who has very low contact, great power, and is tense, but lines that one right to Beefcake McStevens for out number 3. So what started as a promising inning for the hot corners completely shifted for them when they got caught stealing second, strikeout, and then the line out pretty quickly there. So here comes Libby Doe against Aria Combs, who is 0 for 2, so she hasn't been doing as well as we normally like to see her do when we're watching. And she's at a 2-2 count now, fighting off another couple of pitches. Libby Doe cannot afford to get her pitch count up too high as Aria swings through a pitch on the outside edge of the plate for out number 1. Libby Doe's accuracy is not the greatest, so once we see that stamina go down, we might see those pitches get even more wild. Here comes Hank Hart, 1-1. Takes that one low and outside or inside, and another one high. Ball 3. And Hank Hart puts a charge into that one. We don't know if it's got enough. Aria's right there, and it is just enough to get out. Hank Hart blasts that one to left center field, 421 feet, and it's his first home run of the season. So glad we got a chance to see that. The old man still has a little bit left in the tank, reminiscent of little David. Oh my gosh, why am I completely drawing a blank right now? I'll come back to that. I don't know where my mind just went. And Cardanius lines that one to right center field for a double if he's able to make it. Aya Alday does not have the best arm despite everything else being good for her. And so with 1 out, we have a runner on second, and Randolph comes up. One and one count here. Doe is starting to labor a little bit. Ball 2. Up to 28 pitches now. And Randolph blasts that one to left center field, and they're not going to get to that one in time. Cardanius easily scores. Randolph standing at second. Back-to-back doubles after the home run, and we're up 5-2. And by the way, I was thinking of David Ross. Don't know where my mind went, but reminiscent of David Ross in Game 7 of the World Series, hitting that home run. Anyways, here we go. Keeping the rally going, here comes Prince Chavez. Down 1-2 as B. Sandwalker comes in. All about the junk and nothing else. And Chavez is going to try and fight off this elite slider. And gets a hold of that one, but gets under it as well. And all day camping under it. Randolph is going to go for third, and he's going to make it in. So while Chavez wasn't able to do much with it, he does get to advance the runner. And with 2 outs, here comes Spitz McKinney. RBI hero activated here, so that contact is through the roof, and that power is sitting at a really positive place. So let's see if we can make something happen here. Still on fire as well. Takes ball 3, 3-1 count. Good spot for McKinney. Takes ball 4. So, with 2 outs, Sandwalker is not able to get McKinney, which is probably a little strategic move on his part, as he is currently the better hitter than McStevens in this scenario. McStevens still tense. And that ball is not going to get down. All Day is able to get over to her really quickly. She has over 100 speed right now, and that's out number 3. But we put 2 more runs on the board, and the hot corners have a little catching up to do as they are currently down 5-2 in the top of the 7th. Kerr still on the mound. She came in for Sawyer and kind of got everything in order. She induces a ground ball to second base for out number 1, and here comes Howie Caldeet, 0 for 2, still tense, and we'll see if that continues as Kendra Kerr is cruising. 18 pitches now, still in good shape for her to continue through the rest of this inning as long as things go according to plan. She's still neutral, so the mojo hasn't changed, even though she's been pitching really well. And Caldeet fighting to stay alive here. Swings through that one. And Kendra, who'd been throwing a few off-speed pitches, turns up the speed a little. And it's not... Caldeet does not have the bat speed to get around on that one for out number 2. Here comes Linda Hand. Has not really been notable in this game much at all. And she pops that one up. Cardenas is ranging out, but Chavez calls him off, rightly so, for out number 3. So we head into the bottom of the 7th. B. Sandwalker still on the mound. And here comes David Ortiz, who has been having a decent day. 1 for 2. Gets a single. Had a fly out for a sacrifice fly earlier in this game. So he's been making his contributions, but here he grounds out to third. The throw across the diamond for out number 1. Now here's a guy that we need to see turn things around. I might have to drop him down in the order a little bit, or even potentially give him a day off or two to get him to right the ship as he flies out. All Day quickly gets over to that one, and that's out number 2. Lazy fly to left center. So weird that they pronounce it Aria Coombs. That just doesn't look or sound right. Aria Combs coming up 0 for 3 today. Quickly takes 2 balls and lines that one up the middle, and All Day slides, but all she can do is trap that one, and that is a base hit for Combs. Here comes Hank Hart, who 1 for 3, had that solo shot to left center field last at bat. So we'll see what else he's got in the tank here. Lines that one to third. Easy toss over to first for out number 3. So we head to the top of the 8th. And Kendra Kerr, 26 pitches. Has been cruising today. Will she continue to stay on the mound? So far, they're going to let her pitch. We face off against Archie Dale. And, oh, Morneau with a leaping grab right at the edge of the grass. I didn't know if he had enough to get to that one. And that's out number 1. Here comes Aya All Day. I keep calling her Aria. I apologize. 1-1 count. And that one gets through between Cardenas and McStevens. Kendra Kerr, who went up to locked in, immediately drops back down to neutral with that base hit. And again, we know All Day has speed. Is she going to test Hank Hart behind the plate? Kendra Kerr at 32 pitches now with 1 out and a woman on first. And that ball gets through the infield to Chavez. She's trying to stretch it, and that ball, oh my goodness, she got real cocky. Chavez gets that one over to third real quick, and that's an easy out number 2, trying to stretch 1 base into 2. And that's a pretty big moment there, because with that base hit from Toot Whistle, that could have scored a run, but instead we are at 2 outs and first and second. Here comes Queen Jimenez, who has rally stopper maxed out. Also is locked in right now. So this is a great time for her to come in. It was a really great decision from the manager on this one. But Combs gets to that one, throws it in, and the runner has to stay at third. She does give up a base hit, and the bases are loaded for a tense Carlos Delgado in an extreme pressure situation. This is going to be a huge moment in this ball game. And Delgado over to Cardenas, and it's not in time. He makes the diving play to keep it in the infield, but that throw over to first was a long one, and Delgado was able to reach first and get himself back to neutral mojo. So we have 2 outs, bases loaded. It's a 5-3 ball game after a runner scores there, and Queen, I know she's young. She's still got some things to figure out, but this is why we brought her in. These are the moments that we need her to be successful in. And she gets the swinging strike 3 on Atkins for out number 3. So while she did give up 2 base hits, she was able to get out of that inning, only giving up 1 run. And I believe that one gets applied to Kendra Kerr. So we still have some ball game left, and this game's close, so we can't feel confident that it's over just yet. But here comes Cardenas, who's locked in and was 3 for 3 with a double and 2 singles, but pops that one up to the catcher. And unfortunately, even with a double in his last at-bat that scored a run, Willie Randolph is still tense. I sometimes just don't understand the mojo changes here. Sandwalker's still on the mound. He's kind of settled in. And there's a base hit just past the diving shortstop. So that's going to be it. That's going to be enough to bring the mojo back to neutral for Willie Randolph. And here comes Prince Chavez, who 2 for 4 with 2 singles, but had a huge play in center field in the last half inning to throw out all day going to third. So let's see if his locked-in mojo can help him keep this inning going for the Windy City Thunderbolts. And he's down 1-2 as Bruce Suter comes in to replace Sandwalker. And K Collector maxed out and activated for Bruce Suter. Ball 2 there. Fighting off another pitch. Weak ground out to second base. Advances the runner to second. And that does induce Spitz McKinney into his RBI hero trait once again. Still on fire today. And this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup between Bruce Suter and Spitz McKinney. So we'll see how this one plays out. And McKinney lines one just past their third baseman down the left field line. Willie Randolph has the speed to easily score on that one. And McKinney comes up once again with a single that scores a run from second. And we do get to get that run back we gave up last inning, and it's 6-3. Here comes Beefcake McStevens with 2 outs and McKinney at first. McStevens having a tough day so far today. It's been tense all game. And he flies that one out. It's going foul, and Bale is not able to get to that one in time. So new life for McStevens, who does ground that one up the middle for a base hit. McKinney stays at second, and we have a situation in which David Ortiz comes up with his clutch activated with a pretty high-pressure situation here. And this is a great time for him to be doing his thing. Surrounded gets activated for Bruce Suter as well. And Ortiz tags that one, but it's on a line right to all day. That's the last person you want to hit the ball to. And there was a rally there, but while we scored 1, we weren't able to make more happen there. And we head to the top of the 9th with Queen Jimenez here, trying to close the door on the rest of this game. Let's try and avoid any drama. Howie Galdeet's been having a tough game. And, of course, here he gets a base hit to start the inning off with a single. And we get to Linda Hand, bottom of the order here, 0 for 3 today. Be nice to see her roll into a double play just to kind of take the edge off of this game right now. I feel outside of the second game that we watched that got out of hand really quick, I feel like I've chosen some pretty solid games to watch as Linda swings through strike 3 for out number 1, and now we have to roll through the top of the order, starting with Archie Bale. So we'll see what Archie does here. He does have the sign sealer, and he sees the fastball. He swings at it, but he lofts that one out to left field, and Spitz McKinney easily gets to that for out number 2. And now if we want to get out of this inning, we're going to have to do it the hard way. Aya Alday comes up, and she blasts that one. Oh, my God, if you heard that sound. It echoed through the entire stadium. She puts that one way out, 480 feet. And Queen made a mistake, and she paid for it. That's the 6th home run for all day. And this is going to be a drama game as we... Oh, no. We're bringing in our worst pitcher, Marv Knockmore, in the top of the 9th in a max pressure situation against their 3, 4, 5 hitters. And we're up 6-5 with 2 outs. 2-2 count. Swings through strike 3. Oh, Marv, I knew you could do it. I had all the faith in the world, and everyone here who's watching knew it. The Windy City Thunderbolts pull off another victory that we get a chance to watch. So again, thankful for that one. As we enjoy the skyline in the background, we do get to see a victory for the Thunderbolts over the Hot Corners. For the Hot Corners, they score 5 runs on 15 hits with no errors. The Thunderbolts, 6 runs on 14 hits with no errors. So we're a little bit more efficient with our hits. Looking through the order here, Aya Alday, she was on fire the whole game, and it stuck with her. She went 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Bulger had a decent day today, 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, but also 2 strikeouts and Toot Whistle, 4 for 4, but didn't really do much damage with those 4 hits. Wise went 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, and her at-bats also struck out once, and Atkins went 2 for 4, also a strikeout. So I think for the most part, we contained their offense. Their 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters were their biggest threat, and we knew that going in, and it stayed that way. So I think to win a game where they were all on fire or locked in, we got pretty lucky. Looking at our side, we had a pretty solid day for the team all around. Chavez with 2 hits, RBI, and a run scored. McKinney, our RBI hero, did come in clutch a few different times, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a walk, and had some big situations. I think most of those at-bats actually had RBI hero activated, which we love to see, putting him in the position to make those plays. Beefcake was tense all game, but still went 2 for 5, which I'll take. Ortiz coming out of his slump a little bit, 1 for 4, but did get a sacrifice fly for that RBI. Morneau had a tough game, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Combs did get a base hit, but also 2 strikeouts. Hank Hart, with that solo shot, ended up being the difference maker for the Thunderbolts, you could say. So we definitely needed him to come in, and he did. Also struck out once. The bottom of our order really came through, though. Cardenas with 3 hits, Randolph with 2. It was nice to see them getting on base and rolling it up to the top of the order to make the plays that they needed to make. So with that, heading over to the pitching side, just briefly glancing at this, Sims held through pretty well, giving up 3 earned runs, only striking out 3, gave up 1 walk and 7 hits. But he does get the loss. The rest of their pitching staff couldn't really do much more with their time, but on our side, Cecil Sawyer, 4 1/3 inning. I think we pulled him at the right time. Kendra Kerr comes in and only gives up 1 run in 3 1/3 innings for the win. Queen Jimenez made a huge mistake to all day, but it wasn't detrimental to the team. She goes 1 inning, 2 strikeouts there, and then Knockmore, who comes in for the last batter, gets the strikeout, so gets the save as well. We'll definitely take that, but I was nervous. I don't know about anybody else. I all day deservedly gets the number one player of the game here, 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Willie Randolph, 2 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored, and then Natalie Wise, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Fun game. Glad we got a chance to check that one out. And with that being said, like we've been talking about, there's talent on this team. We just have to figure out how are we going to make it all work and put it all together. The only change happening here is that Pumper Lumpkins loses 2 arm. That's not too big of a deal for us, as we are going to look to replace him with Cash Basket as soon as she is available to sign, and nothing changed for her valuation. So let's go ahead and jump ahead. Let's see, was there any other? It looks like I think the Rivets are the only team we haven't played yet, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look back on so we played the Grapplers that we ended up losing that one. Oh, we did play the Rivets. We watched that game. And then the Hammond Hot Corners. So the next team that we'll have to, I think, sorry about the jumping around here. I'm just trying to do the math and figure it out. I think it's the Milwaukee Mammotanks are the only team that we haven't played yet that we're going to watch that game. And that's game 58. So we have a little bit of time. With that, I am going to go ahead and do some simming here. So you'll kind of watch my system. So I'm going to get us to an even 40 games played and see where we're at there. And skipping ahead, we lose those. And so we see that Slip Sauter gets signed to the Mammotanks and replaces Harlan Erickson. So that might be rough for us if we have to face off against him in that upcoming game. All right, so again, development hasn't changed here. None of these are ones I'm interested in, so we're going to skip those and we're going to wait for some new ones to come up. I am going to slowly check in on the valuation of these players. Again, just wanting to keep an eye out for Basket to drop into that range of signing her. So I'm going to go ahead and sim the next 10 games. This will include 3 against the Rivets, 3 against the Grapplers, 2 against the Thrillers, and then 2 against the Joyriders. So we're going to see how well we do. We're at 15 wins now. So if I skip ahead, we have won 4 out of 10. So nothing's changing for us. We're not doing any better than we were before, but now we have some opportunities. So Prince Chavez at 27 has an opportunity to gain some power and contact. Marv Knockmore with some junk and a chance for K Collector. Just think he's way too old and I'm planning to replace him. Queen Jimenez, this is what we want to do. We want the development. She's 19, gaining some accuracy and a potential extra pitch. And then Coyle Marshall, we want the development for him as well, as he's a young workhorse pitcher. So let's go ahead and take a look at those development opportunities. The first one being Queen Jimenez. We have more than enough to pay for this, so I'm going to go ahead and just take advantage of that right now. We see she gets the +2 accuracy, chance for more, does not get it, and then the cut fastball she does get. So the young pitcher gets a huge boost in loyalty, and we see that she now has 4 pitches. This is beautiful. Love to see the development there. All right, with Prince Chavez boosting the hitting attributes, I'm interested. I think let's do Coyle first, and then we can come back to Prince Chavez. I know it doesn't matter much, but just want to go ahead and prioritize the ones that are most important for us. So Coyle Marshall with a +1 junk, +1 accuracy, potential for more junk, and a 5th pitch. So let's see what happens. There's the 1 and the 1 and the junk. Does not get it, and let's see if he can get the cut fastball as well. Does not get it. So Slight development there, a boost to the loyalty, which is nice, but doesn't really move the needle much. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some help for Prince Chavez here. He's fast when he gets on base, but can we help him get on base a little bit more frequently? Not really. +1 power and contact I'll take, but not a lot there either. So I'm going to do a quick little simulation here as we head up to the Mammotanks game. We're going to sim these next few games. That's 2, 4, 7 games that we're going to simulate. And then we're going to be preparing our next episode for the Milwaukee Mammotanks. So we're at 19 after 7 games. We only win 4. So I guess we actually went above 500 in that 7-game stretch. And Cecil Sawyer is juiced for the first game against the Mammotanks. So that might be the game we watch, but probably should be one of our other pitchers. So Withers Hansen, a chance for more velocity and a little decrease to accuracy for more velocity opportunity. Hank Hart's speed goes down. That's fine with me. David Ortiz, an option for development there. Beefcake, an option for development. Chavez drops 1 power, so we just paid for him to get 1 contact essentially. Mackenzie Perry gains 1 power. That doesn't mean anything. Few players get replaced, and as we finish up, let's go ahead and do some more development, and we'll also take a look at Cash Basket. Did Cash get signed? Let's just really quick check because I just realized that I should have checked before. So Cash is at -2, under current valuation. So it's time for us to sign her, which is nice that we're actually getting a bit of a deal here. So Cash comes in, replacing Pumper Lumpkin. So we are paying a little bit more than we were before, but I'm more than okay with that as we are going to be bringing in some youth to this team and some much needed offense as well. So that's our next. That was our next move, and the next one coming up will be Mackenzie Perry, currently +2 over, and then Elroy Action. So I'll make some decisions before the next game whether I want to do that or not, or we wait. Track Statsman is at. I think we signed Track now. I don't want to risk losing him. So quick peek over at Aria Combs and what she's been doing, and take a look at the rest of the stats. Aria Combs has 11 home runs leading the team, 266 average, and an 819 OPS. That's frustrating. I'll make a decision before the next one. We're not going to advance any games on what I want to do there. Lastly, player development, as we're getting up on our time here together. I want to start by focusing on this one for Withers Hansen, another young pitcher that we wanted to develop. So we're going to get a boost to velocity in offset by a little decrease to accuracy and a chance for more velocity, 25% chance. And we get it. So big bump for Withers Hansen, and the loyalty skyrockets as well. So that's nice to see for him. We also wanted there's this one for Beefcake, and there's also this one for David Ortiz. You know what? There are big boppers. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. We have enough in the tank for these two as well. So Beefcake, +1 power, 2 speed, 1 contact, and a chance for a little bit more power and speed. Let's see what happens. The chance for power does not get it, and the chance for speed does not get that either. Okay, so getting that loyalty maxed out. Next, let's do power. You know what? I'm not going to do this one for David. I don't think it's worth it for what we're getting out of it. It's not necessary. He doesn't really do anything, and we're not going to get that speed anywhere. That's valuable. So that's where I'm going to call it. I want to say thanks again so much for sitting through all of this. Thank you. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, welcome all of that in the comment section below. And again, if you get a chance, please follow my playlist so you're never missing any upcoming episodes. We'll talk to you all next time. Thank you all so much. I hope you have all a good one. Bye, everyone.